Welcome to LinguaWire English B1. Today, we have two stories. One about a tense interview with former US President Trump, and the other about difficulties some football fans face getting visas for the World Cup. Please follow us so you can practice your English every day with the latest episode. For transcripts and comprehension quizzes, visit linguawire.com. To talk about the interview with Donald Trump, I have with me LinguaWire correspondent Sarah, who follows US politics closely. Sarah, what happened during this interview?
Hello, Daniel. The interview was with NBC's Kristen Welker. It was meant to be a normal conversation, but it became tense. Trump was asked about his claim that the 2020 election and the current California primary elections were rigged. He didn't provide clear evidence.
When you say rigged, what does that mean here?
It means Trump said the elections were unfair or manipulated to get a certain result. But he didn't show real proof. Instead, he said he just looks and listens.
How did the interviewer respond to that?
Kristen Welker said that looking and listening is not proof. She wanted facts or documents. This made Trump angry. He called the media crooked, meaning dishonest. Then he ended the interview early.
Was this interview supposed to last long?
Yes, but it was delayed several times because of technical problems and rain on the metal roof. Trump left about 50 minutes after it started.
Did they talk about anything else besides the elections?
Yes, much of the interview focused on the conflict with Iran. Trump said the U.S. must stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, but wants to avoid a long war. He said the U.S. would stay only a few months.
That sounds like a strong statement. Did they discuss any other political plans?
Yes, they talked about a plan to create a $1.8 billion fund to pay people who say they were unfairly treated by the government. But this plan was dropped after criticism from both Democrats and Republicans.
Why was the plan criticized?
Some people said it might pay those involved in the January 6th Capitol riot, which many find controversial. So the plan was stopped.
What does this story tell us about the relationship between Trump and the media?
It shows that Trump still has a difficult relationship with traditional media. He often accuses them of bias, and this interview shows how tense that can be.
Thank you, Sarah, for explaining this complicated interview. Now, for our second story, I'm joined by LinguaWire correspondent Michael, who covers international sports and travel. Michael, can you tell us about the problems some football fans face with US visas for the World Cup?
Hi, Daniel. Yes, many fans from countries playing in the World Cup are having trouble getting visas to enter the US. One example is Abdullah Adnan from Iraq. He wanted to see his team play in Boston and Philadelphia.
Why is it difficult for Abdullah to get a visa?
Normally, he would apply in Iraq, but because of the US-Israel war with Iran, the US stopped regular visa services in Iraq. Fans like Abdullah must go to another country for an interview.
So, what did Abdullah do?
He travelled to Jordan, but the US embassy there said they could not give him a visa because he is not a Jordanian citizen. Then he thought about applying in Turkey, but that process could take 2 weeks, which he cannot afford.
That sounds very frustrating. How much did Abdullah spend trying to get tickets and travel?
About $1,800, which is a lot of money. After all these problems, he gave up on trying to get a visa.
Are fans from other countries facing similar problems?
Yes, fans from over a quarter of the countries in the World Cup face travel bans, strict rules, or high visa rejection rates. This causes anger and disappointment worldwide.
Why is this a problem for the World Cup as an event?
Because football's about bringing people together, but travel bans and visa problems make many fans feel excluded. Like the event is for them, not us, as some say.
Does this situation affect the spirit of the World Cup?
Definitely. The World Cup's about unity and celebration. When fans cannot attend because of political or security issues, it shows how global events can be affected by wider conflicts.
Thank you, Michael. It is sad to see fans missing out on such a big event. Let's review some useful words from today's stories. First, from the World Cup story, we have 3 words about travel and visas. The first word is visa. A visa is a special paper or stamp that allows someone to enter a country. In the story, Abdullah needed a visa to go to the US for the football matches. For example, I need a visa to visit Canada next month. The second word is embassy. An embassy is a place where a country's officials work in another country. Abdullah went to the US Embassy in Jordan to try to get a visa. For example, I went to the embassy to renew my passport. The third word is interview. An interview is a meeting where someone asks questions to decide something important. Abdullah had to do an interview to get his visa. For example, she had an interview for a new job yesterday. Now, for our second part, let's look at the phrase, call it quits. This means to stop doing something because you do not want to continue. In the Trump interview, he said, "Sorry, let's call it quits," meaning he wanted to end the interview. You can use this phrase when you want to stop an activity. For example, I'm tired, so I'll call it quits for today. Or, after 2 hours of studying, he called it quits. This phrase is useful when you feel it is time to stop something, either because you are tired or because it is not working. Remember, call it quits is informal and common in everyday English. That's all for today's language recap. Follow LinguaWire for the latest daily episode and build your daily language habit with us.